Peace, girlfriends. Hello, this is Angela Jordan Perry with Girlfriends It's Guide to Homeschooling, and it is that time. It's that time for another interview. Welcome to season 2 of Girlfriends It's Guide to Homeschooling. Yes, this is season 2. We finished out season 1 with 110 episodes. Our podcast continues on, so no worries about that. So yay, let's give a shout out, yay. And I have today with me a beautiful queen who is out of Atlanta, Georgia, who is kicking off our season 2. And I'm really excited. She has a platform and a voice that is very, very, very near and dear to my heart. And while I can't do everything, see, that's why there's people with gifts and callings that can do it, because one person can't do it all. And this is, I can't wait for her to share what she's into, what her hands are into, and her voice that she has out for the African homeschooling or the African diaspora community, or really to women at large. Okay. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Again, I'm Angela Jordan Perry. I'm the host of this show, Girlfriends It's Guide to Homeschooling, and the podcast, Girlfriends Chat. And it is my purpose-driven life to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. And I do that first right here in the state of South Carolina, where I provide legal rights to those who are homeschooling or want to homeschool in this state. And number 2, right here on the show, Girlfriends It's Guide to Homeschool, along with the podcast. And then number 3, with Educating Our Own. This is another platform that is there to give you resources and tools for all of you who are of the African homeschooling diaspora community, so that you can be empowered to thrive from A to Z. We got you covered in Educating Our Own. Okay. So I'm a homeschool mom now of 18 years to 8 children, 3 of which we've graduated, and 5 I'm still homeschooling. My husband and I have 26 years, and our children, we make our home in the upstate part of South Carolina, where we are self-sustaining farmers in the beautiful mountain area. So that's just a little bit about me. I am ecstatic and thrilled to be going into season 2. And I should let you know, too, that I am very much a racial equality or injustice advocate. So that is my passion as well. But I'm so excited to be going into season 2 with you all and to kick this off again with our guest speaker. So, Vee.
Peace and blessings to you.
Yes. So, Vee, are you ready to make it happen?
I am absolutely ready. Let's do it.
All right. Let me tell you, girlfriends, a little bit about Vee, okay? So, Vee, with a global motto, the more we speak life, the more we will see positive outcomes manifest. Vibrant Vee Spelife is a sincere servant leader whose message, speak life, not strife. A native of historic Savannah, Georgia, she earned her bachelor's in chemistry from Savannah State University and continued studies in science education and bioscience regulatory affairs. The former science and math educator is now all about developing chemistry with the masses who've experienced domestic violence, and showing them how to be survivors who thrive and gain positive self-awareness, worth, and empowerment. A survivor of domestic violence herself, Vee is well equipped to assist others on their journey from spiritual, emotional, physical, verbal, and financial bondage to total liberation. And in the process of doing so, she teaches victims how to be victorious and serve as an advocate for others facing abuse. With over 2 decades of combined professional experience, working in corporate America and educating and enhancing the lives of youth and families, Vee Spelife is a change agent who teaches life skills, leadership, anti-bullying awareness, and legacy building. And in 2017, Vee established the nonprofit Shifted Masterpiece Incorporated to serve and support domestic violence survivors and families, as well as at-risk youth. A devoted mother of 1 biological son who is a young scholar and entrepreneur, she also is a surrogate mother and mentor to countless young and youth and young adults who she has inspired and empowered in schools. schools and faith-based institutions and family advocacy agencies. A devoted child and servant of God, Vee is an outgoing vessel and leader who's a dedicated advocate for others, an innovator who turns visions into reality. And she's going to tell us a lot more of what she's doing. But Vee, thank you for being on the show. I'm so grateful to have you and have this time with you. So tell us exactly, how did you yourself get started homeschooling with your son?
Wow, great first question. Let's dive right in. And to your glorious and beautiful audience, I want to introduce you also to a little dog named Skittles. Skittles is going to be barking throughout this video. He's a little puppy, and I don't know what to do. Maybe someone in the audience can help you manage my puppy. In the meantime, let's see, going back to the first question of the hour, and that is, how did we come into homeschooling with my son? That has been a journey. We've been in the whole school environment for 2 years now. This would be our third year. And the experience has been one of, the best thing I can say is that it is a journey. We started maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I had him in the public school environment. And that's when I noticed the bullying and just different comments or remarks. So, not only from students, but also from the teacher. And, as a parent and a helicopter mom, if you will, I would try to understand. We didn't have the experience that throughout his year. So there was a shift. So I couldn't pinpoint exactly, well, was this from, where did it start? Why are we now experiencing or having a negative experience in the school system? And I realized, and it's not one thing in particular that my son is doing. It's not anything that me as a single mother is not doing. It's more of the fit and the match for what is required, what is expected on both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
With my son, I've noticed that maybe we could do a shift or make some form of a change, but I wasn't quite sure where that change would come until another girlfriend of mine, another queen and sister friend of mine, came in and asked me, have you considered homeschooling? And I said no, because in my mind, I thought homeschooling was only built for the stay-at-home mother with children, and that it wasn't something that would fit my lifestyle, me being in corporate America at the time, me working alongside. I thought in my head, and of course, as a single mom, my job is to get my son to school on time. When he comes home, make sure that he has food.
Right.
Want them to live, so we have to feed them. We feed them, and we want to make sure that they get their homework done. We want them to absolutely be successful in all of their endeavors, but we want to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do in school. So if you come home with any discipline problems or anything, what did the teacher say? What is your daily note? And with me being the type of mom that I am, I'm at the school all the time. I want to know, okay, well, I'm the one in the classroom reading stories. I'm the classroom mom. And that had been my thing. So now you have this young woman, also a single mother, that comes to me, homeschooling her son. You say, why don't you try this? I say, our lifestyle is a little different. Even though you're a single mother of one son, I'm thinking, I don't know about this. And you don't have to show him how to do all of these things. How am I going to fit teaching my child everything, go to work, make sure these bills around this house are paid, and make sure that his discipline is on point? How do I do that all by myself? And I really didn't think it would be done. But then here she comes to me with a program. At the time, it was time for, no, she was doing Connections Academy. And that was our introduction into the system. And oh my goodness, when I tell you that I was afraid and then didn't know what to do, if I was going to do it, or how it was going to happen and when. It was even more because I'm the helicopter mom.
Right.
Afraid to make any wiggle room because, and then as a single mom, you have this other thing. Oh, well, if you don't make a mistake, they're going to come at you because you're a single mom. And, oh, well, no, then it's going to be thing. Oh, because you're Black. And then it turns into a whole nother conversation. So here I am trying to be perfect as a mother, a single mother, a Black mother, and a mother in corporate America. How do you put all of that together and say, oh my goodness, today we're going to just start homeschooling? So it came with a lot of reading and trying to understand, well, okay, well, she introduced me to Connections Academy. And then of course, my whole, well, what about the social environment? And then you start thinking about, well, what about all of your family? And then I'm an educator. In my downline, my upline, we're all educators, in family filled with educators from in any capacity in the school system. They are there, from administration to teachers to staff in the school system. We're all over the place. My job is to teach, to train, to facilitate, to educate others in a different capacity. However, I am designed to be a teacher, and I realize this and understand this. I am designed to coach other people and help them with their platforms and help them grow and develop into the individuals they want to be. Knowing this, how can I then say, I can't teach my son? This, they have so many tools available for the homeschoolers. There are so many resources out there. Now, what my family, the educators, here come the educators, you can't pull him out of school. You don't homeschool. You don't do that. That's not what we're doing. You take him, you put him in that school. We did it. They did it. Everybody can do it. Why do you feel so that you have to be different? Why do you feel that you have to change what we've been doing for the last century? Well, for the last century, our minds have been trained to believe that the brick and mortar is the best and only approach to educating our own. It is we know that is different, and and you can even see different children across the country at the time. And to your question, I know this is a lengthy answer to the first question, Angela, but to your point, we have not opened our minds to understand there is more than one way to skin a cat. You can get there in more than one way. And now we're seeing more and more children that are graduating school early. Hey, are you in Mensa? No, I was homeschooled. You're finding that more and more because we can design a program that's catered directly to that are those individual students. Now, I find myself pretty blessed because I just have the one son. That's more than enough for me. And that's why I admire the many women and fathers out there that have more than one student at home that they're teaching. So my journey is a little different. It's one-on-one development. And then so I have to sit back and watch in amazement the many women and men that are teaching multiple children at one time. It's a craft. For us, it's been pretty easy. But I think if I had more than one child, the approach perhaps would have been the same, pretty systematic, and in that I'm going to go and research as much as I can before I just dive in. But we started with Connections Academy, switched to an online platform, and then that's when I was like, oh, why don't I now go and actually read what the state requires? Why don't we start there? And then we designed a program that was specifically for him.
Wow. Okay. So you've been on a journey. Each year just looked a little different. So how was it? Let's say when you get to year 3, let's talk about that. When you got to this year 3 of homeschooling, how was it how was it for you when you're like, okay, I'm taking the reins. This is what I know we need to do. And this is what I know you need to have. Here we go. How was that journey to be?
Because of the community that we have now, your platform and sharing with a great audience and finding all these different groups that we have on Facebook and in Meetup, and just finding and learning from other people, and also understanding, okay, well, this is my son, designing a curriculum that's based on my child. Why not? Let's totally go for it. So what I did, I just catered it around him and his specific needs, obviously. But one day my son came to me and told me that he wanted to start a business. And I said, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Let's totally do it. I've been waiting for you to get a job. So I watched and observed him do this. And then that's when I said, bingo, we'll take his business and use that as the basis of everything that you learn on. So he makes soaps. You have math in soap. You have science in soap. You have reading in soap. You have language arts in soap. You have everything in soap. You have art in soap. You have you have business and economics, and you can teach him all of these great things, all surrounding his business. He has his now the public speaking portion of it, getting out in front of other people and being able to speak at ease, more so than even adults can, at ease in front of a great big audience of people. So these are things that we look forward to in the day. So designing the curriculum from that piece, once you have the foundation of where you want to go, you can backtrack and say, well, this now is how we're going to get there. I know these are the tools that we need. These are the assignments that can be completed. And then you can monitor and track his progress from there. Now, I'm in the state of Georgia, and our requirements are not as strict as some of the other states. We don't have to keep a portfolio, for example. I think in Texas, you have to keep a portfolio, but
South Carolina too. Yeah.
Okay, for South Carolina, so you have to show exactly. Do you all have home visits?
No, we don't have to that degree, but according to our homeschooling laws, we at least have to have a portfolio and some other things that go in there. But yeah.
And see, state of Georgia, the requirements are less strict, and I think that also helped me gain a sense and some level of comfort of the approach that we could take for the year. But other than that, if we were to move, because of what and how everything was designed or is designed for him, we can make the necessary adjustments with no problem now.
Gotcha. Well, take us to your why of homeschooling. I mean, to hear what your son is doing. And how old is your son? What grade level is he in?
He's 9 in 4th grade.
4th grade, and is an entrepreneur and knew this is the direction he wanted to go, which is beautiful because at such a young age to know this is what he wants to do, even right now, perhaps, but you're able to totally tailor, like you said, his learning towards in that. But tell us, the girlfriends, what is your why? What is your why behind doing this day after day while you're still taking care of bills, still making a living, doing these things you have to do for you and your son?
The biggest why for me is twofold. One is being able to take him and give him, one, exactly what I think he needs, what he's showing me that he needs, and being able to cater to his particular learning style. There's no reason for him to come home with detention because he's sitting like this. or because he didn't participate or didn't feel it. It's just now we're in a position to where we can make sure it's specifically surrounding what his exact needs are. If he misses a question or if he doesn't understand anything, I can stop. He doesn't have to wait on the multitude of other students who actually understood what the teacher just explained to him. We can stop and go back over anything that you did not understand and move along your learning pattern at your speed, at your rate. That to me is the biggest why, because it's specifically designed for him. Now, the other reason is selfish. It's pretty selfish of me. I said I'm a helicopter mom, meaning I want to know everything that's going on. Well, don't come to me 6 months, school is in, and now it's time to get out, but he hadn't been turning an assignment. Why don't I know this? Now I know exactly what he's doing, when he's doing it, and why he's doing it. Mm-hmm. Also, he understands the why behind what we're doing. And, he doesn't absolutely love being a homeschooler. He wants to be in the public school environment still, because he likes kids. He wanted to be around other kids. That's the third why. Because you have to filter out so much. To me, it was exhausting, having to figure out what the teacher is doing, if the teacher is communicating or not, or they're passive aggressive in a sense, or perhaps they just don't care about our young brown, brilliant brown babies that are in their classroom. But I won't talk about that so much unless you ask me a specific question about it, and then I will share. Now, we have other issues in that sense. That's not a secret. Mm-hmm. And if you don't mind, the other why goes back to Carter G. Woodson's The Miseducation of the Negro. He explained to us in the 1920s that the brick and mortar system was designed for us to go work in factories. Now, how many jobs do you see today? How many jobs? Well, we're basically trained, and our minds are programmed to work for someone else in the school system. Our minds are trained to go and be under the umbrella and under the operation of what someone else wants us to do. All of us are not designed to be that way. One of the things that Carter G. Woodson explains is that because of that design, we were never supposed to be in there. We were not supposed to be in there. The way it's designed right now is to take us straight from the classroom to the prison system. And so see and understand that this is the approach that's being taken for each and every one of us. You want to switch that. You want to break this cyclical chain of destruction. Where do we start? It starts with you. This chain that we have, it starts with each individual home. I'm not super fight the power with it, family, as we're watching this together. But what I am is for my family and for what is going to work for me and my own. It starts with what choices are we going to make to ensure that as we both go out into the community and the world, how are we both going to make a positive contribution to everyone that we meet? We can only make a positive impact or contribution if we're doing what we need to do on the inside and making sure that all the information that's being poured in to us individually, to our children, what they're pouring on the inside is going to come back out. Well, we want to make sure that what's going in is positive and not the negative, not things that's useless. How often do you find, and this is not me being super against the public school system either. This is about teaching our children the things they absolutely need. It's about needs. So it's a needs-based approach to how I've decided to move forward with his education program and what I think he needs. He's my son. My responsibility my responsibility is to make sure that he gets the best education possible so that when he does leave from our home, he is going to be a great husband. Come on, a great husband. I think Skittles is saying like this too.
He's agreeing. Yep.
He's going to be a great husband, a gentleman, a great father. He's just going to be all great. He's going to be a great worker. If he owns his own business or decides to go and work for someone else, he's going to have the tools that he needs to be out there and making it in the world with some real life, not fabricated, not made up stuff, okay? But what really goes on outside of this house. Understanding that because of the way you look, you are going to be judged. That's just how it is.
Right.
How do you explain these things to your child outside of sending them to school every day, not knowing what information is being taught to them? It's taken me, Angela, 2 years to retrain his mind. And he's just a baby.
Right. Wow.
To build him back up from where other people, including a teacher that wanted to tear him down. That, Angela, is my why.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Do you plan to homeschool all the way through to the end, whatever that is?
We got to do it case by case. So as our lifestyle changes and as I see different things, because they have other programs that are specifically designed for what he needs. He wants to be an engineer. So I'm wanting him to understand you can build and be an engineer and you can do it on your own terms, but you must learn. We love YouTube University.
Gotcha. Beautiful, beautiful. I know YouTube is a wealth of knowledge and you can get there. I mean, yeah. You know, nothing's impossible. Absolutely. So V, tell us has been your worst day of homeschooling these 3 years? I mean, so bad where you was just willing or thinking about it, considering, contemplating, just throwing in the towel and say, this is it. I can't do it. I'm done.
When he said those exact words to me, what you just said, I'm not doing it. What I said, what do you mean you're not doing it? I'm not doing it. So I didn't understand. What do I do? No, you're going to finish this worksheet. You're going to finish this assignment. And so let's talk about this. Because I read and I want to study and understand everything before I get into the situation, right? Now, I've also confused myself in that process, okay? So it wasn't just go from A to B to Z. It wasn't a straight line. It's been many curves, ups, bumps, and bruises along the way until I really found what he liked and how he liked to receive the information. So the first 2 years was trial and error.
Yeah.
Absolute trial and error. Now it's kind of, I figured him out. He doesn't want to work in the morning. Why am I waking him up every day at 5 a.m. just like these other kids, you know, going on the bus? They have to get up so early. Let them wake up naturally. Why not? What's the big deal? Corporate America. No, it's not. Corporate America has different hours during the day. Oh, this is what the naysayer says. Corporate, that's not realistic. Realistic to who?
Yeah, exactly. To whom? Mm-hmm.
We build our own sense of reality. We absolutely do. Someone will say, well, how do you know? How long have you been in corporate America? Help me understand that. And then you will, okay, now you understand. since you have not worked in corporate America yourself, you don't have a sense of reality. You are your sense of reality. There are so many jobs where you can wake up, you can have a first, second, or third shift. If you're an entrepreneur, the shift is determined by you. You set
That's right.
Partially by your customers. You want to be there for your clientele, but that's probably what's going to drive the type of job that you have. And but you're going to get, if you want to be somewhere, you'll get up to be there.
Right. That's right.
Hey, well, take a play date. Huh? If you have a play date at 6 a.m., I bet you get up. Right?
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Vee, take us to your most memorable day of homeschooling. I mean, the day that just made you think, this is why I do what I do right here. Tell us about that journey.
Oh, wow, Angela. Great question again. One of the things that my son does, he is not, I know that he thinks differently. He processes information different from the way I process information. And for most other kids, as I've come to observe him on my own. And this is not in the classroom setting, but definitely outside of the classroom. So of course, on one of those bad days when I'm thinking this kid is not listening to his mama, not being obedient, and is just getting on my last nerve. Homeschool moms, there have been days where I just didn't know if maybe I need to send him to school. Maybe you'll have a little more discipline there. It's like, don't give up. Remember why you're here in the first place. Months later or weeks later, after I'm talking and I'm showing him this information, and just when I thought he wasn't listening or paying attention to me, that's when this kid is repeating verbatim everything that I said weeks later, months later. So just because he's not looking at me as I'm talking to him or as I'm teaching to him, I know because of that one incident, I know now he was paying attention to me. He just wasn't looking at me. He was been paying attention this whole time. Or if there is some incentive, he's a performer. So he's going to show up and be 100% present when he wants to. And I just had to deal with it. But it was the blessing in disguise, because here I go thinking he didn't get it that day. Weeks later, here he is just rambling off all these words, all this information, all this knowledge. I'm like, man, whose kid are you? This is my son. And then that's when you say, yes, it is. That's
yes, that's my baby.
My baby.
Beautiful. Well, girlfriends, thank you for being with us. This is Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. I need to ask all of you to be sure to hit the share button and get this out to your girlfriends. We're about to dive in deeper with Vee on some specific topics and focuses. And this is, you want to be very attuned. Get your notepad and pencils out and all that. But be sure to hit the share button, okay? And get this out and share it with your other girlfriends. Right. So, Vee, I have some questions I want you to complete. These are some statements, not questions, statements. Complete these statements for me, okay? I see the future of homeschooling for Black families
as the utopia. It's a utopian future. It's the wave of the world. It is the best and first choice that we will begin making as far as ensuring our children are successful in all of their endeavors.
Beautiful. How about this one? This is a little bit more personal. I believe my son's future is blank.
Creative, bright. No, it's going to be one that none of us have ever seen before. Quite unique and amazing. And it's going to be something so dynamic. It's going to be something that's so man, we waited all this time. I don't want to say it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread, but it is absolutely going to be the best thing since sliced bread.
Beautiful. My hope is that every girlfriend that homeschools knows
She is awesome. She is beautiful. She is amazing. She is smart. She can do anything and everything that's under the sun for her. God said he knows the thoughts and plans that he has for you, thoughts of peace and listen.
Go. Hey, you can go ahead, girl. It's okay. Go on in.
My sisters, the beautiful queens that are out there watching this video, you do not have to worry about the bad days because the good days are absolutely going to outweigh the bad. As you're beginning this journey, as you're embarking on a course of the unknown, that's how life is. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Only God knows that, and only he can help you grow into where and place you where you want to be as long as you're putting in the work. So continue to keep going. Don't give up. And you always remember your why. Why did you decide to homeschool in the first place? There was a reason. So always go back to part A. Why do I want to homeschool? And then take it day by day. You can take it and add on as much as you want, but you can only do one thing at a time. So it's one task, one assignment, one day, one child at a time, because they're all different. Don't feel that you have to do the exact same thing that another homeschooling mom is doing. You don't have to compete against any other homeschooling moms. Yeah. Your house is your house. So always remember that. Don't worry about what your family says, because again, it is your house. So unless someone is coming in to pay those bills for you, so if you're married and you guys have an arrangement, focus on your house. Don't worry about what's going on in the other homeschooling environments. Don't worry about what's going on in the state of Texas if you're in the state of Georgia. Don't worry about those things. Focus solely on what you need, what your child needs. Meet somewhere in the middle. Do what you can to bridge those gaps and focus there. Don't worry about the outside world. Stay with what you have going on in your specific environment. And the last thing I want to share with you is just don't give up. Mm-hmm. Do not give up. And again, go back to your why. On those days when you feel like it's not working out and you want to go back to the public school system, it's a personal choice, but do what's best for you and your family.
Absolutely. Vee Speak Life. I have to say that because this is what you can clearly see. This is her gifting to speak life. Vee Speak Life. What has been the best words of advice that you have received since you've been on this homeschooling journey?
That I've received, that I can do it. That was the best. The best piece of advice was that I can do it. From the single mom approach, this coming from another single mom to me, oh, you can absolutely do it. Had it not been for them to say and actually take me by the hand and show me their computer system and show me how easy and simple it was for them, give it a chance. It doesn't hurt. Just as easy as you pull them out, you can put them right back in. So that was the best piece of advice, is to try it and see if you like it, you do. If you don't like it, hey, but take a chance on you and your family to give your family the best.
All right. Well, here's the last question. I call it the $1 million question, Vee. This is it. You ready, girl?
Give it to me.
All right. If you had to start all over again, back to day number 1, what would be something that you'd be sure to implement in your homeschooling journey or change or be sure not to do this time around?
Okay, I'm going to start with the not to do. I will not listen to everyone else. Everyone else feeding in negative and some feeding in some positive too. But remember, when I started this journey and the plan that I had, finish the plan all the way through. If you come to a point where I would get a little stuck with it, let's revisit. If it's not working out, absolutely, let's revisit. but I'm not going to switch just because someone else has something better. Because there's so many different curriculums out there. I want to make sure that I pick one
Mm-hmm.
that works for both mother and son and go from there. If it's not working out, we'll switch. But don't just stop working on one thing, and don't get overwhelmed with all of the different resources that are available, because there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in the box with as far as the teaching and what you're going to do, and switch as needed.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, Vee Speak Life. I want to give you the opportunity to speak life from a place that's very personal and dear to you. As of this recording, this month right now is Domestic Awareness Month and Bully Awareness Month. And I know this is part of Vee's, a sweet spot of her heart. So Vee, speak life to this, these two things. I just want to give you some time to share on that. And then also let us know what you have your hands involved in that you want to get out to the girlfriends so that they can be aware of how to continue to be connected with your voice of encouragement.
Well, thank you, Angela. And again, thank you for allowing me to come and share with your lovely audience. I am a domestic violence survivor, and I have been outside of that and on the other side of living my life for the last 5 years. And one of the things that we want to encourage others is that there is a great life ahead of you, and you don't have to worry about the different obstacles that you faced back then, but focus on those, again, the thoughts of peace and prosperity that have been outlined specifically for you. One of the items that we have coming up is a freedom workshop. This workshop, and also the nonprofit that we have, the nonprofit is Shifted Masterpiece Incorporated. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We've been in operation for a year now. And one of the things that we do, we support domestic violence survivors. But this came about as I was undergoing my personal situation and experience with domestic violence. The first time I was abused, I did not even know that's what the term was. Mm-hmm. So a big piece on making folk aware of what it is, what it looks like, how it happens, because it sees no race, no color, no age,
That's
no
right.
gender, no sexual orientation. This is something that happens across the board. There are 1 in 4 women, just women, that are impacted by domestic violence, and 1 in 7 men are impacted by domestic violence. So with those numbers, and there's someone murdered at least once or twice a week. I don't know the specific statistics, but here in the Atlanta area, there is someone murdered on a regular basis due to some form of domestic violence.
Wow. Wow.
Inflicted, but it's an epidemic. And so my job now is to be informative. It took me to get to a point where it's when I left my situation, I was left blind for over 2 weeks because I had been scarred. I ended up in the hospital. Okay, that's how badly bruised I was, not only physically but internally. So we're talking about physical, verbal, financial, and emotional and spiritual abuse. Okay. I experienced all forms of it, but I wasn't able to say, hey, I'm a battered wife. Who goes around saying that? No one walks around saying, I'm a battered wife. Yes, I was. Or my husband's abusing me at home. No one walks around saying that because we've been trained to sweep things under the rug, to keep our business to ourselves and to not talk about what goes on in our home and just be private about everything. But now let me tell you something, because I am where I am now mentally, and after having gone through counseling, and after having had an opportunity to gain a form of healing after going through the process of forgiving my ex-husband and abuser. That is, it's a process. But now that I've gotten to the other side of this process, I'm now encountering, I'm meeting multitude of women that will want to call and just talk. They just want to listen to them, because I think I want to get out, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do. One of the things that I didn't know was that there are resources available for you. There are not only resources on the counseling end, there are resources to help you get out, emergency services that will help you get out safely.
Beautiful.
And alive. And that's one of the things that we're trying to save lives here. That's what we're trying to do. We don't want your situation to end deadly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just finished my freshman book. The name of the story is Shifted Masterpiece, a story of love and horror in Savannah, Georgia. This book is a account of my personal story. So it's based on a true story. It's a quick read, and one that I'm hoping, everyone will have an opportunity to read. If they don't care to read material of this nature, pass it on to a friend, pass it on to a loved one, because the information there is just that to help the next person understand that they are not alone. We want to make sure that people know that there is help for them. And we also want to make sure that people know that not only is it, advocate support, there's financial support. The state of Georgia will pay for your medical bills. If you've experienced any physical harm that landed you in the hospital, or you got to go to the doctor, or take care of things, hey, lucky for me, I had health insurance. But think about the multitude of women that don't have health insurance. Think about the multitude of women that are depending, or men that are depending on their mate that's abusing them to sustain them. But what I didn't know, there are resources available. Let's start with that phone number. If you're being abused, or if you're being silent and don't want to share, the first thing that you can do right now is call 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. So if you know anyone else being abused, you give them that number, and there's going to be someone on the call 24/7 there and available to take your call and help you get out of the situation safely. If you're not sure if you're being abused, you just have questions, that's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. This is something that I wish I knew as a now survivor, but then I was a victim back then and didn't even know it. But now that I know, my job is now go and spread this news to everyone. This is not to break up a happy home, but it can't be too happy if you're being abused. So
all right.
We want to save lives here. Most victims that go back to their abuser end up dead. If I not left my husband the night that I did, I would be dead. I don't know when it was coming, but I did see I saw it. I saw my life flash right before my eyes, like a series of events the night that the worst attack that I ever had. And then when I start meeting and listening to the stories of all these other women and men, and their level of physical abuse was worse than mine. I'm meeting women that have been shot multiple times. I'm meeting that have been just undergoing things for a myriad of years. And they're still there because they don't know what to do. They don't know what's next. They don't know that there is a great amount of help and support available to them. So, Miss Angela, I appreciate you for allowing me to share this with them. And again, that phone number is 1-800-799-SAFE. Some people will say, well, V, why did you stay so long? One of the reasons is because of my lease. I was tied to a lease in our home at the time, and my son and I were there. But I was tied to a lease, And I figured, oh, well, I could just start putting my things over here because we were going to move, but I can put my things over here, put his things over there because I knew he wasn't going to pack. And then we can get out and I can make a clean, even break. I only had to put up with the abuse for a couple more months. If I could have just lasted for a few more months. But what's going to happen? That abuse began to escalate over time. And I could not get out and wait for the lease to be over. I had to get out now. If I didn't leave, or if my son and I did not escape the night that we did, I don't know where we would be. But I do know this: help is on the way. The state of Georgia, if you vote, please get out and vote. If you're not, I think we have I think it's Monday or Tuesday I'm sorry, I don't know when you're going to air this, but if you can get out and vote in November, please vote yes for Marcy's Law. Remember, I said I was tied to a lease. Marcy's Law, as we vote yes, will allow me to be able to get out of that lease because I'm in a domestic violence situation.
Wow. Neato.
That's how big and important this is. Had Marcy's Law been implemented in my situation, I would not have had to wait so long. And for these sisters and brothers that are experiencing it now, let's help them. Let's vote yes so that they can get out of the lease and move onward and upward with their amazing lives and continue the journey that's placed before them.
Absolutely. Well, girlfriends, you are the average sum of the 5 people you hang out with. In this hour, you have been hanging out with Vee Speak Life. Vee Speak Life. And so, Vee, thank you so much for taking up your time and your resource, your energy, your insights to take, just share with the girlfriends and specifically on this last subject, which is, it's huge. And you're so right. No one walks around and say, I'm a battered wife. Yeah, no one goes around and discusses that. We just keep that part quiet and to ourselves. So thank you for being that voice and speaking life to the girlfriends and the guy friends who have seen this video. So Girlfriends Guide to Homeschooling appreciates you and is grateful to you for all that you're doing and your voice that you have in our community. So thank you, Vee.
Bless you. Blessings.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Yes. So girlfriends, listen, this was great information and resources. Be sure to share it. Vee gave lots of insights on homeschooling. You're going to find more from her on educating our own as she shares on this topic and other topics that she's involved in. Vee, you have to tell us your radio station and how the girlfriends can find you.
Yes, thank you. So you can find me on all platforms of social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. My handle is Vee Speak Life. That's V as in victory. Speak Life. Speak Life, not strife, guys. Listen, we have the Speak Life radio show, our TV show now. It's a talk show that airs on the Status Network. If you can, download the Status Network app. And you can also watch us live on Facebook, and that's the Speak Life show. Again, the Speak Life show. And you can find us again on the app, through my personal social media page as Vee Speak Life on Facebook, and the Speak Life show on Facebook as well. We have several events coming up. One is our open mic. Our open mic is held every first Saturday of the month, 7:30 to 10. It's a platform for anyone using any form, spoken word, music, art, any display of visual and performing art. We love to have it and have it displayed just for you. It's a great way to take whatever you have bottled up on the inside, you write it down, and that's a great resource. It's quite therapeutic for a lot of people, and we have an amazing time. That's every first Saturday of the month from 7:30 to 10 p.m. The address is 4805 Lawrenceville Highway in Lilburn, Georgia. Now, this talk show, we air every first and third Thursday at 10 p.m. That's the Speak Life show. And everything that I'm sharing right now, You'll find it on all of my platforms. And also one last thing, we have a free, the open mic is free, and we have a free workshop. This workshop is where you can come and we assist you in bringing your visions and dreams to reality. Wherever you're stuck in life, wherever you're wanting to go for it, we will help you get there. This is the Freedom Express workshop. Our first one will be held on Saturday, October 13th, again at 4805 Lawrenceville Highway, Lilburn, Georgia. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. If you don't want to come, but you know that it's going to be an amazing opportunity for someone else, share it with them. If they're in the Atlanta area, please share that information with them. The last link that I'll give you is www.linktr.ee/V Speak Life. That's my Linktree page. You can find everything that I just shared with you on Linktree/V Speak Life. Again, that's www.linktree/V Speak Life. And yeah, I am excited and grateful to Miss Angela. We want to give her a big round of applause for all of the work that she is doing in our community and for all of the wonderful things that she's able to share on her platform. And we thank her for allowing us to share what we have going on the other side with you. So peace and blessings to each and every one of you watching.
Beautiful. And remember that to teach a child is to touch a life. And as we homeschool, we not only touch a life, but we shape the future through our efforts of homeschooling. So keep making a positive impact day after day and year after year. It will pay off. Just don't quit, like Vee said. Don't quit. Just keep going forward and do what you have set to do in your household. So very good. All right, girlfriends. Peace and blessings to you from Angela with Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling. Be sure to look for the podcast recording. Vee and I are going to dive in deeper on this topic of domestic abuse and anti-bullying. So find us on our next podcast. I think I'm on podcast number 40 at this moment. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So peace and blessings, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Speak life, not